Hello and welcome to Howzzat. As always, with me is Vijay Lokapally, my friend and colleague, to discuss last night's game that Chennai Super Kings won quite comfortably against Sunrisers Hyderabad in what could be termed a very, very tactical battle, Vijay.
Yeah, good morning. We had expected a tactical battle, and it did turn out to be one. And it's going to be more. We're going to get some more fascinating contests this week, Rajaraman.
At the toss, it was interesting to watch both teams having made the decision to play an extra spinner each, but then Chennai Super Kings not needing Piyush Chawla to bowl more than one over.
Yeah, it is. I think that's going to be the trend in the second half of the tournament. The pitches are becoming slow. They have become slow, and obviously, spinners are going to come into play more than the fast bowlers.
There is no doubt about that, Vijay, that the pitches are becoming slower. And then the rule now seems to be win the toss, bat first, put the opposition under pressure by getting a decent score on the board. Chennai Super Kings batting first for the first time in the tournament and securing that 20-run victory.
Yes, and they made a change in the batting order in getting Sam Curran to come and open and pushing Watson to the number 3 slot, which is not been done for quite some time. Watson has only been opening for CSK. So, like we said, the changing batting order helped. Sam Curran did contribute handsomely. Watson also, but CSK may have fallen 20 runs shorter than what they had anticipated.
I thought it was a complete batting performance by CSK with the top order scoring, except of course Faf du Plessis getting out to a first ball duck, as also Dwyane Bravo later in the innings. But apart from that, every single batsman contributed significantly to getting the team to 167.
Yeah, very significantly, and Dhoni and Jadeja getting those runs at that juncture was very important because they had to get going, play those big shots, and it was nice to see Jadeja come into his zone. And then later, of course, he took those catches, bowled well, finished man of the match. So everything fell in place for CSK.
The decision to get Sam Curran, Vijay, was interesting and challenged the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowlers because I don't think they were expecting Sam Curran to walk in ahead of someone like a Shane Watson. But then Sam Curran, even though he didn't have a great first over against Sandeep Sharma, came and scored a few quick runs for Chennai Super Kings and then gave them that aggressive look that helped the side retain it throughout the game.
Yeah, they needed it badly because somebody had to fire at the top. And Sam Curran is one who loves to play his shots. He's he's rated very high by most of the broadcasters. If you listen to the commentary, and even England, he has a very big reputation. So he did play to his potential. And maybe a 50 would have been deserving. But Sam Curran did give CSK the start it wanted.
There can be no question that he did his job, Vijay. Let's watch what Stephen Fleming has to say about this decision to promote Sam Curran to bat at the top of the order.
We've had Sam padded up for pretty much every innings, looking to inject him at a certain time, but wickets have fallen. I indicated, I think last game, he was a couple of balls away. So we thought rather than getting clogged up and probably too much batting resource, we'll take one out and be certain about Sam, put him up the front, see how he goes, and put the onus on the batting group rather than sort of hiding and shuffling it. And that really was the main reason. And it's born out of we need to do something different because the trends of our losses were becoming too familiar. So we just wanted to get Sam in the game. His training's been great and just provide a little bit of momentum at the front.
Let's also hear the Hyderabad coach, Trevor Bayliss, speak about this decision to have Sam Curran batting at number 1.
Obviously, Watson's done pretty well for them over the last few games. Probably a left-right combination at the top of the order. Sam, he's a good striker of the ball. When the ball's coming on, so if knew a ball coming on a little bit, I don't think we bowled particularly well to him there for a couple of overs. But look, he's a good player, and obviously Watson coming in at number 3, it's not too different to opening the batting.
Sam Curran gave a cushion to the Chennai Super Kings batsman. His blistering start allowed someone like a Shane Watson and Ambati Rayudu to play their normal game and score at a decent clip and set the stage for Dhoni and Jadeja to come and take the score to just above par.
Yeah, I think credit should go to Jadeja. He had a difficult role to play at that point. He didn't have time to settle down. Dhoni obviously was in his elements, and I would have expected Ambati Rayudu to carry on. I mean, it's after the initial innings when he played his part well. Rayudu has been below par, but Jadeja came in handy last night.
It was curious that both Shane Watson and Ambati Rayudu fell to full tosses, Vijay. It does seem like full tosses have become a very crucial weapon in this format of the game.
Yeah, in fact, full toss can be a very dodgy ball. I mean, it looks very juicy, but if you don't play it well, you can end up losing your wicket. I mean, we have seen so many in the past, some great batsmen also falling to full tosses. Although, and it is said that it is kind of unacceptable if a set batsman gets out to a full toss.
It is a very risky delivery to bowl, Vijay, but I think captains are encouraging the bowlers to go ahead and try some full tosses at the right height, because on the lower side, they can be deposited in the stands. But if you get it right, some of the batsmen can be caught napping and they can end up giving catches in the deep.
Yes, and you're right. I mean, if it comes at a height where you have to kind of a pen and connect it well, it can be a very fruitful stroke, but it's a very it induces you into a false shot. So when playing full tosses, most batsmen have to be wary.
We got to see Jadeja play that very, very critical innings, 25 runs of just 10 deliveries. That made the difference between winning and losing for Chennai Super Kings last night. That made the difference between winning and losing for Chennai Super Kings last night, Vijay.
Yes, and probably that's the reason why they chose to give him the man of the match, not just for his wicket bowling later or his fielding, but those runs which he made gave the CSK team the confidence and the platform to put Sunrisers under check or maybe pressure, whatever you would like to call it.
We shall get to talking about Jadeja's bowling in just a bit, because there was one very good effort on the field for Sunrisers Hyderabad, and that came from Sandeep Sharma. He bowled 3 terrific overs with the new ball, Vijay, and even though he conceded a few in his final over, he came off with his head held very high.
Oh, very, very excellent. I mean, excellent performance, no doubt about that. And he was the right choice to bowl also, because his ball skids. I mean, he's the kind of bowler who can hustle the batsman. Very deceptive pace for his height and for his stature, body structure. He can be very deceptive. And the ball which was skidding obviously was kept the batsman under check.
His 2 wickets early on, one of Faf du Plessis getting him off his first ball, and then getting Sam Curran, who's striking the ball really well and bowling him with a beauty. These 2 things really set Chennai Super Kings back, but Khalil and Natarajan gave away a few runs and allowed Chennai Super Kings to get to a slightly above par total.
Yeah, I think that was the probably the weak point as far as Sunrisers is concerned, because they allowed the opposition to recover. If that stage, if they bowled well, if they had strangled the CSK innings, I'm sure the match could have had a different course. But credit to CSK. I mean, they kept the game under control.
With Rashid Khan not being able to pick a wicket, the batsmen defending against him by and large, and unleashing their big shots only in his final over, Hyderabad needed a wicket-taking bowler, and they didn't have any in the end.
They are missing Bhuvaneshwar, and they're going to miss him all the more as the tournament progresses, because these kind of pitches would have been very, very handy for him. And he's the kind of bowler who bowls well under pressure. So you can't expect someone like Rashid Khan to keep on shouldering the responsibility alone. I mean, there are four other bowlers who should be able to chip in.
And when the Sunrisers were chasing 168 for victory, Vijay, a lot depended on how the first 6 overs panned out. David Warner and Johnny Bairstow, their partnership was going to be very critical. And unfortunately for Hyderabad, both of them did not contribute too many runs last night.
We knew all along that if these two batsmen have to click, if Sunrisers expect to do well or progress to the playoffs, and David Warner and Bairstow, they have not been consistent at all. And Warner has been, in fact, he has admitted that he's not doing well. He's not batting as the team wants him to do. So maybe in the coming matches they will have to understand that unless they give a good start, Sunrisers doesn't bat deep, so the team is going to struggle.
There was just Kane Williamson who played a very, very good knock, Vijay. And if there was anybody who could take Hyderabad over the line last night against that bowling attack of Chennai Super Kings, which exploited the track really well, it was going to be Kane Williamson. He played a very good knock, but could not take Hyderabad to the finish.
Yeah, I think he was fighting a losing battle all the while, because if you see Rajaraman, he's not the one who plays those big shots. He has a certain limitation, but what a classy batsman. There is no doubt about that. And he tried his best. He was running out of partners. He ran out of the fact that not many deliveries to go at. So I wasn't really surprised that Williamson could not finish the game for Hyderabad.
With the Manish Pandey getting run out to that brilliant effort by Dwyane Bravo, it was then incumbent on Priyam Garg and Vijay Shankar to help Kane Williamson take Hyderabad closer to the winning target. But that did not happen. But it does look like Williamson has been given the role of nurturing the younger batsmen in the Hyderabad side, giving them the benefit of his experience. Let us watch what the Sunrisers Hyderabad coach, Trevor Bayliss, has to say on this subject.
Obviously, he's a high-quality player. At the moment, he's playing the role for us at number 4, and hopefully bat with some of those young guys in that lower middle order, and use his experience to help them out. He's a very good player. Quite simply, if he bats at number 3, he could make bigger scores. But that's his role at the moment, to bat number 4 for us.
Yes, it is for the youngsters to learn. I mean, even otherwise, they have been traveling with Williamson. They get to talk to him in the dressing room, or at the nets they can sort out a few issues. But to expect them to revel in tough, difficult situations all the time is asking for too much, because Priyam is a young man. He still has to learn, a long way to go. And yesterday, I mean, he looked out of place, and Williamson was left alone.
I'm sure someone like Priyam Garg will learn a lot from batting alongside Kane Williamson. But I did genuinely believe that Hyderabad missed a trick in not including the left-handed Abhishek Sharma ahead of Priyam Garg. If they wanted to make that change and have Shahbaz Nadeem bowl 4 overs, they really should have dropped Priyam Garg and played Abhishek Sharma, Vijay.
Yes, absolutely. There is no doubt if we have to choose between them. Abhishek is miles ahead. He's far more gifted, and he's able to adapt also beautifully. And yesterday, it did prove that it was a bad choice Hyderabad made.
There were 2 terrific moments. Of course, Chennai Super King will take that victory. But there were 2 standout moments, Vijay. One was when Dwyane Bravo ran out Manish Pandey with a pick up and throw from short extra cover. And that was brilliant to watch. The joy on Bravo's face was something to behold. After that, we got to see Jadeja bowl Johnny Bairstow. It was perhaps a pitch of a delivery, something that Bairstow was not quite ready for.
Yeah, and something Jadeja is known to bowl also. I mean, we have seen him in the past. He kind of produces this delivery, which leaves the batsman clueless. And we could see last night how clueless he was. And yes, Bravo running out Pandey was it may not have been the turning point, but it was a very critical stage as far as Sunrisers is concerned.
Hyderabad would expect a little bit more from somebody who's played for India. I'm talking about Vijay Shankar Vijay, someone who could have made the difference between losing and winning, but he was disappointing last night.
He came with such promise. He went to the World Cup, and there was obviously his selection created a lot of controversy ahead of Ambati Raidu. But he has not lived up to his promise. He could have developed into a good all-rounder. He bowls decently, and he has the batting talent. No, there's no doubt about that. But somehow he is not able to grab the opportunity, and I think it's going to be very difficult for him to look at an India comeback, obviously, but he'll do well for his team if he contributes in this tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him, Vijay, as you point out. Quite a challenge for him to rally from where he is at this point of time. Very tough situation to be batting in when you know that there are no more strikers around you. You have only Rashid Khan and then the bowlers to bat with. But it was important for Vijay Shankar to shoulder responsibility, to try and take Hyderabad closer to the target than play that big shot and give his wicket away to Dwyane Bravo.
Yeah, I mean, this was the time. If he had played a match-winning innings, you can imagine what it could have meant to his career, to his own confidence, and Sunrisers also in this tournament. But it was not to be. He couldn't sustain it. He did manage a big hit, but in trying to repeat, he sort of he fell short.
Of course, Vijay, the scoreboard pressure was always going to add to the troubles of the batsmen. And then Chennai Super Kings is not the side that will allow batsmen to escape from this pressure. They bowled really well. Dwyane Bravo, especially in the end, just about every bowler who came on to deliver something for Chennai Super Kings did a terrific job last night.
Oh yes, and there was again, you can see Dhoni's stamp. He was marshalling his bowling very well, making those field placements, fielding changes. He was in command. I mean, it was nice to see Dhoni so active and in the thick of action right through the game.
Some would have been surprised at how Dhoni reacted a couple of times, Vijay. There was one moment where he was quite upset with Curran Sharma delivering the ball far too wide and allowing Shahbaz Nadeem to score a boundary and ease some of the pressure on Sunrisers Hyderabad. And we got to see later, of course, this happened between overs. We got to see later that Dhoni was quite animated when he was having a conversation with Curran Sharma. There was also one other moment that stood out for Dhoni. Normally a very unexpressive person on the field. He was quite agitated when Paul Rifle was about to signal a wide. But I think the umpire is well within his right to not declare it a wide because he did consider a second time and a third time and then decided that the ball that was bowled was not really a wide. A lot of criticism Paul Rifle has had to cop, Vijay. What are your own thoughts?
He did call the previous ball wide, and probably in his opinion this wasn't. So you have to give it to the umpire also. I mean, he's doing a very difficult job there, and he can make an error. And this was not a error which was going to cost anyone a match. But the problem is very few of us acknowledge good umpiring decisions. So that is where I think you have to strike a balance. You do have a right to criticize, but then when they come up with good decisions, they also should be given due credit.
Vijay, before we discuss tonight's game between Delhi Capitals and Rajasthan Royals, here is a question from Harshal Karkanis.
This is for the first time there's a season transfer gonna be done. Want to know how it's gonna affect the balance of the squads as the squads, as the teams have come into this IPL season 2020 with a bunch of players of 20-25 players which they have in their squads, and with the thinking this is gonna be their squad for this entire season, but now they are thinking of chopping and changes with those players. Is it good to have a mid-season transfer during an IPL with the changes affected during an IPL season, or the mid-season transfer is okay, but the changes should be affected in the upcoming season?
As always, North Stand Gang Mumbai and its members have got very good questions. Thank you very much, Harshal, for being here today and asking us that question. But it is very curious that not one team has released a player into the trading window. It is the first time that a mid-season window has been introduced. It is an experiment that IPL is trying. Typically, we get to see this in football, which is a 9-month season. But in a 6-week season, players are not going to be released so easily. And the best players, some of them are hoarded as well. You take someone like a Nathan Coulter-Knight, for example, in Mumbai Indians. Why would they want to release him in the trading window and allow another team to make the most of his bowling? Some of these players are benched basically as insurance against injuries to their faster bowlers, injuries to their key players. I think it is important that a lot of thought has to be given before any player can be released into the trading window. But Vijay, it is also interesting that not one player has been put in the trading window so far as of last night.
Exactly. And I think apart from the fact that he may not be playing for you, they want to ensure that he doesn't play for the other also. I mean, that also is a game. He is not going to come at you. He cannot play against you, but he can create problems for the original team by doing well to the team which he has gone to. So I'm not surprised that any player has been put on kind of sale.
One of the reasons why a player is traded also, Vijay, apart from, of course, cricketing prowess and perhaps the thought by the captain and the coach that the player is not going to be of great value to the team, is that he's used as material to bring in some revenue to sides. I have seen this happen before. Very good players are traded. We got to see Ajinkya Rahane being traded to Delhi Capitals, for example, by the Rajasthan Royals. He was captain last season, and then he was traded off to Delhi Capitals. So sometimes players are used as revenue earning potential for franchises. Mid-season window allows only players who have played fewer than 2 matches to be traded, and there are not so many players of that quality who would want to be traded. Moving on, Vijay, Delhi Capitals against Rajasthan Royals. Delhi Capitals wanting to continue their good run so far. They've lost just a couple of games, including one big match to Mumbai Indians. But against Rajasthan Royals, they will start as the team to beat.
Yeah, the team to beat, and let us hope Rajasthan Royals comes up with a good performance and we get to see a good match, because Delhi Capitals is also without Pant. The team is not as looking as balanced, but one can expect Delhi Capitals to have recovered from the last game and make a match of it against Rajasthan Royals.
Thank you very much, Vijay. As always, I have enjoyed this conversation and I'm looking to having more with you, especially when we come back tomorrow on the game between Delhi Capitals and Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah, thank you, Rajaraman, and have a good day.